And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to Charlotte Motor Speedway, as we are here in pretty much the headquarters of NASCAR country. Just across the road here, we've got the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and we're getting ready here for a track and a race that certainly may end up putting a driver into NNSCRA Hall of Fame, depending on the circumstances. So we'll see here today as we get ready here for 30 laps of racing here in the Coca-Cola 300. Interesting thing too, we actually are here on the race weekend that will hold our longest race of the season, of course, the Coke 600. That'll be coming up here at the end of this race weekend, so a lot of drivers will be taking part in that, going to be getting some good experience here in the Trucks and Mobile Cup Series races that'll take place before that event. But as I said, the Coca-Cola 300 ready to be run here with Isaac Canepa on the pole position. Now, Canepa did not take the green flag to start the season off at Daytona. He ended up replacing the non-commenting Austin Ogo, and he has worked his way up, amazingly enough, to 13th in the point standings and 7th in rookie standings. This guy has been doing an unbelievable job, and he's got himself a fast truck tonight, obviously, with getting that Mobil 1 Chevy Silverado on the pole position. Alongside of him is going to be Kyle Corbett in the 17. Corbett in the last couple of weeks has really not had a whole lot of success come his way. He really needs a good run here tonight. He's dropped to 9th in the point stands when he was at one point up to 2nd in points, and I think that was actually about 2 weeks ago. So he's looking for a little bit of redemption tonight. Got himself a good qualifying spot for this evening's race. We've seen drivers start making moves towards maybe a potential wildcard spot. Well, Andreas Allen's got a good starting position here tonight in 3rd place. Allen ended up winning the race at Infineon. That was his first Truck Series win. He'd love to be able to pick up 2nd one here tonight. Allen comes into this race currently 26th in the point stands. A 2nd win could certainly help his chances of making the chase. And alongside of him is going to be Joshua Michaels in the 43. Now, after Michaels' win earlier on this season, he's not really been making a whole lot of waves up in the top 10 points. He's 23rd in points right now. He's another driver who could really use a 2nd win here to get himself back in the potential title hunt. And then rounding out the top 5 is going to be Eric Burton in the 54. Burton is currently sitting in 29th in points. I think he had a good run last week, if I recall correctly, so at Daytona. So Eric Burton, keep your eyes on him. He may be somebody to watch here. Remember, he was a 3-time winner last season, and all 3 of those wins came during the second half of the season. That's how he ended up making the chase. So maybe he'll be able to find something like that happening here again, as we're nearing the chase to the chase cutoff very, very shortly. Anyway, though, it's time to get these trucks rolling off, and while they do that, you'll see your starting lineup on the top of your screen. Points coming to this race. Gene Sanford is still the points leader over a 2-way tie for 2nd place between Deanna Shelton and Kyle Thomas. The 2 of them are a total of 28 points back. Tanner Sullivan is 4th in points. He is 31 points back, rather. And then 36 points back is Austin LaPlante. He is 5th in the stands, of course, after picking up that win last week at Daytona. Jacob Lawler, he is 6th in points. DeFelu is 7th. Zach Campbell 8th. Kyle Corbett 9th. And Levi McIntyre, he is 10th in the current points. A couple of drivers on the outside possibly looking in here tonight include Dylan Poteet, Kyle Matthews, a 2-time winner this season, the pole sitter Isaac Canepa, also Bob Jones and Sean Galligan, and also a former Truck Series champion, Chris Dalton. He's 16th in the points. He's been steadily working his way up through the standings. Keep your eye on him. He could end up have something to say about this evening's race. We'll switch here to the TV1 camera. It's going to be the best camera angle here for this evening's event. See where Gene Sanford is going to be starting off. She's been every single week just narrowly being able to get it finished good enough to be able to keep herself up atop the point stands. There she is, starting off alongside behind her teammate Danny Wells. And you can see there's the rear of the field, so she is way at the back of the pack again. She's qualified at the rear of the field a lot in the past couple of weeks, but always seems to be able to pull something out at the very end. But here we go, 30 laps of racing. Here is Charlotte. Green flag is out, and we're underway here in the Coke 300. Eric Burton immediately makes a move to the inside 3 wide on Andreas Allen. Let's see if he can make it stick. The preferred line here is the low line, but in practice we saw drivers being able to use a good run out of the middle groove in turn 2. That may come into play here on the final lap. You never know. Anyway, right now it is all Isaac Canepa, 3 wide behind him. Burton, Allen, Corbett, Leo Walker, Joshua Michaels are all back here. Whoa, Corbett got the wall and nearly came down to Michaels. We nearly had a caution. That was really close. There's Levi McIntyre coming up the middle between Joshua Michaels and Jamie DeFelu. DeFalo and McIntyre, 2 rookies, 2 former winners this season, and both in the top 10 in points. And then here comes one of our 2-time winners, Kyle Matthews. His last win came at Rockingham, UK a couple of weeks ago. He's coming up the inside line. Oh, Allen got the wall. Hangs on to it, though, and are we still green? No, caution's out. Caution's waving for the first time here today at Charlotte. The way they were racing 3 wide all over the place, you had to think something like that was going to happen sooner or later. But I'm not really seeing a big gap between the leader here, Isaac Canepa, in the rear of the field. There is smoke, though, here on the back straightaway. Apparently a couple cars spun down to the infield. Oh, there they are. 5th in points, Austin LaPlante. Last week's winner is one of them. Haruhi Toshimi is involved. Dylan Poteet apparently has gotten a piece of it as well. And here's Jean Sanfer. Was she involved? She's way at the back of the pack here now. Either she got caught in the high groove or else she got involved in that incident. One or the other. Don't know which. We'll find out when the replay comes up. But Haruhi's day may be over. That car is crunched up a ton on the front. Dylan Poteet's damage appears to be on the right side and the rear of his machine. And you can see Austin LaPlante's got the whole front of his car pretty pushed in as well. All 3 of these drivers have been to victory lane this season, too. Dylan Poteet won at Pukekohe. Toshimi's win, I think, came at Auto Club. It was either Auto Club or Las Vegas. And then, of course, LaPlante went to victory lane last week at Daytona. Pits are open. These 3 coming to pit road. Everybody else decides to stay out. Looks like they'll try and repair LaPlante. They're going to repair Poteet, but Toshimi has indeed taken her car behind the wall. So tough break for the 5. Let's take a look and see what happened as Isaac Canepa is the leader under our first caution here tonight at Charlotte. Well, they were literally shoving each other back here. And it looks like Chris Washer and Austin LaPlante, they were leaning on each other on that inside line, and then they just come up right in front of Dylan Poteet, and there Jean Sanford did get a piece of it. The 27, the points leader, was involved. Toshimi had nowhere to go. I think she ran into the back of LaPlante. And then, whoa, wait a minute. Oh, tempers flaring there, perhaps. I think LaPlante wasn't too happy with Poteet for some reason. I don't know why. Poteet had nothing to do with it. It was Chris Washer who crowded him. But LaPlante taking out his frustrations on the 31. Ooh, a little underlying current there. That's not too good, but caution flags out, and, ooh, this is interesting. You don't normally see tempers flare at a track like Lowe's or Charlotte, but I don't think that was just a fact you didn't know the 31 was there. I think that was a little message being sent. Don't know what the message was, though, but apparently LaPlante's not happy with Poteet for some odd reason. But caution flags out. Let's go back now to green. So nobody decided to roll the dice, do some pit strategy, and come down early, get off the pit sequence. Everybody stayed out, with the exception of those drivers involved. Austin LaPlante and Dylan Poteet have been able to continue. Haruhi Toshimi's the only driver currently out of the race, so a tough break for her. She didn't really even get out of the blocks. She retires only, I think it was 3 laps in to this event. Isaac Canepa, though, the pole sitter, he is the leader. His teammate right behind him in Eric Burton, so right now, the Stewart-Haas car is running 1-2, and then the third car of theirs is back there, too. We'll get him in a minute. Leia Walker is in 3rd. 4th is Jamie DeFalo. Levi McIntyre is in 5th. 6th place is Kyle Matthews, and there's the other Stewart-Haas car. Cody Lamas in 7th place. So all 3 Stewart-Haas machines having good runs so far here today at Charlotte. Joshua Michaels is in 8th. Andreas Allen is in 9th, and in 10th is going to be Jimmy Bly. Kyle Corbett slipped all the way back to 11th after we saw him get the wall off 4. Prunes Littlejohn runs in 12th. 13th is Jackie Tang. Luis Hernandez is in 14th. James McLeod 15th. Rest of the top 20 will be Bob Jones, William Duncan, Harrison Langford, Sam McMillan, and Kyle Thomas. So right now, Kyle Thomas running about 2 positions ahead of Deanna Shelton. So right now, he would be 2nd in points. And I don't know exactly where in relation to Gene Sanford he would be as far as how many points back. But anyway, we're getting ready to go back to green. Isaac Canepa ready to get us back underway here. Green flag back out. Canepa, 7 laps complete. That'll be a total of 24 here to go. As Isaac Canepa, Eric Burton, Leia Walker, they remain single file. First battle is going to be back here for, I think that's the 7th position. Joshua Michaels moving past Cody Lamas. Now up ahead, here comes Jamie DeFalo. He's going to dive low for 3rd. Whoa! Almost some contact there. Sam McMillan nearly got him in the right rear, and that would have been a big wreck. Right now, though, side by side for the 3rd position. between Leo Walker, Jamie DeFalu. I think we can give the position to the 78 here into turn 1. Indeed, he will clear the 99. Whoa! Kyle Matthews getting the apron there in 1. That's not so wise. And I think Little John just got loose and went up into the safer barrier and was riding it. But I think we're still green. Right now, Eric Burton seems pretty content to ride behind his Stewart Haas Racing teammate, Isaac Canepa, at the moment. Not willing to force the issue, but you can bet he is lying in wait. Wait a minute, he's got some trouble behind him. Jamie DeFalu coming with a full head of steam, and Eric Burton, I think he's throwing the block and going underneath the 14, saying, sorry, teammate, I realize that you need me to be helping you be defensive against these other drivers coming, but this guy's on my tail, and I gotta go now. So here comes Eric Burton down to the bottom, looking for the top position. DeFalu right behind him. And then here comes another Best Buy car. That's a Ford F-Series, though, and not a Chevy Silverado, but that's Joshua Michaels. They were almost 3 wide back there with Harrison Langford and company. I think another of those cars back there, I'm saying that 3 wide situation, was Leo Walker in the 99, who has started to slip back. And here comes DeFalu. Man, he's got a strong truck tonight. He's been blowing by everybody and is about to do the same here to Eric Burton. Isaac Canepa all over his back bumper, though. And here comes Kyle Corbett back to the inside, so that caution flag really helped him to be able to get himself back into line. He's now starting to come up the inside line, almost 4 wide. That was close. He nearly went to the apron to get underneath Andreas Allen. We nearly had 4 wide into turn 1. Here come the Vast Pro Shops cars. Not teammates, but both with the same sponsorship, Jimmy Bly and Jace McLeod. And here comes Corbett, 3 wide for the lead as Canepa takes the lead back from Jamie DeFalu. Oh, Jimmy Bly right up into Eric Burton. What a save by the 54 and the 3. That was nearly a yellow. Good heavens, how they kept that together, I don't know. The 3 came right up across the nose of the 54. Eric Burton going to be the worst for wear on that. He's dropped several positions after having to bail out of the throttle in order to not wreck the 3 car. If Jimmy Bly comes away with a decent finish after this, he should go right down to Eric Burton's pit box and thank Eric Burton for not wrecking him, because that very nearly was a caution. Right now, though, Joshua Michaels, he is now the leader. Kyle Corbett moves to second. And that 78 car, man, he runs the high groove, the middle groove, the low groove. Wherever he goes, he is fast. Look at him go 3 wide there with Jackie Tang and Isaac Canepa. And here comes Kyle Corbett right behind his fellow Ford F-Series of Joshua Michaels. Ooh, Jackie Tang almost getting to the inside of James McLeod, but he throws the block. And here comes William Duncan in the 21. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the 22 car there of Levi McIntyre has been to victory lane here at Charlotte before. And that was with Red Bell. I believe that was back in season 5. So, 22 team has some history here. As right now, Joshua Michaels, he is leading the way. Is Corbett going to run in line behind him? He's going to have his rear deck lid full of a Bass Pro Shop Chevy of James McLeod in just a moment. Another car making its way up here, having a good run. That's Harrison Langford in the 70. There he is. Just missed him. There he is, the 70 machine, the Ford Travel Motor Coach Chevy Silverado. Langford comes into this race 34th in points, really needs a good run. Right behind him, Prunes Littlejohn, another driver, a road course ace, having a good run here today at Charlotte. Littlejohn comes in 30th in the points. Haven't really seen Littlejohn up at the front in our road course races. But she's trying to do something here tonight at Charlotte. Right now, Joshua Michaels has a pretty commanding lead. Isaac Canepa all over the back bumper of Jackie Tang. That would be for second. And is there a slower car up ahead? There is. Austin LaPlante is up ahead. This could be trouble. Oh, boy. Didn't think a lap car or a slower machine would come into play here, but it very well may. And this could be big trouble if they encounter that machine in the turns. Or even on the front straightaway. How far ahead is LaPlante? He's not too far ahead, only about maybe 20 car lengths in hand over the leader, Joshua Michaels. And that gap is closing quickly. They're going to encounter him in turns 3 and 4 of the front straightaway. This is not going to be good. Hopefully the spotters have let them know that slower car is there. Here we go. Canepa's going to try and use it for the lead as he comes up on the 14. Can he get under, or comes up on the 48? Can he get to the inside? He is going to get to the inside. They're going to try and maybe split the 48 of LaPlante. They got to move him up to the high side. LaPlante's got to move all the way up to the high side and let these guys by. They're not going to appreciate this. And here he goes. He is going to go to the high side. Good move, Austin LaPlante. Let the leaders on by. And now the top 5 has kind of changed a little. Canepa's the leader, Corbett second. Now Langford is up to third. He's got Cody Lamas to his inside for that position. And Andreas Allen now cracks the top 5 as pit stops are taking place. Corbett is coming to pit road. So is Langford. So is Lamas. Dylan Young's coming. I see Allen, Campbell, McIntyre. Trying to see who else that other car is. That's not Galligan, is it? There's a blue car back there. Oh, that's Joshua Michaels. Jake Cole is in. I think Poteet actually pitted a lap earlier. Oh, Kyle Matthews' machine is badly mangled on the front. What happened to him? Wait a minute, the pace car's missing. Caution's out. Uh-oh, these guys better get their pit stops done quickly. Because there's the leaders. Uh-oh, I think we could have some drivers get caught on pit road, maybe a lap down. Because of that caution flag coming when these drivers were pitting. This is going to be interesting. Caution flags out, though, for the second time here today. And these guys who stayed out when that caution flag happened, they could be in the catbird seat here. Is Isaac Canepa. He is the leader. He's been out in front a lot here today. The pole sitter has had to fight his way back a couple of times, but he is leading. Let's take a look at a replay of what actually put us under the caution. I think it started with the 62 of Kyle Matthews. So here's apparently what happened. Trouble getting to pit road for several drivers. Zach Rogers actually gets turned up ahead. We'll look at that in a minute, but I don't think that was initially what brought out the caution. I think it was this bigger wreck back here. Jake Rogers just doesn't slow down. He just runs into the back of Kyle Matthews, sends Matthew into the back of Lawler, and then sends Lawler into the back of Washer. And apparently Gene Sanford and Silver Fox got together, and there you see the 15 of Zach Rogers up ahead. He is spun out. Let's rewind it here, see who turns him around. Looks like it was Brad Smith. He made some contact with the 75. 15, he's coming to pit road. Oh, and I think he's trying not to hit the 1. Oh, and then Brad Smith makes a last-minute decision to come down. He just sideswipes the 15. That was a rookie mistake on his part. Don't really know why he did that. And then there is Silver Fox. Now, what's going on with the 4? Did he get contact from Deanna Shelton, or did he get it from Gene Sanford? Oh, actually, it might have been from Luis Hernandez. I think he got tapped by Luis and then gets sent up across the nose of Gene Sanford. And, oh, and then Deanna Shelton, the reason she was sideways was she was getting shoved by Chris Washer. But she hangs onto it and then comes right up behind, caught behind the 15 of Zach Rogers. But there's Matthews and there's Silver Fox. Both their cars come to rest there where the apron meets the racetrack in that corner, and the drivers are not able to get their cars refired. So they both actually had to teleport to pit road, and that is why NSRA had to throw a caution flag with those two stalled out machines there in turn 3, especially with the fact there were still some drivers out on the racetrack who had not yet pitted. But this is definitely going to really, in a way, screw a lot of drivers in the fact that they're going to be caught a lap down now, because when they made pit stops, the leaders were able to come around and pass them, and they didn't get off pit road in time. So this is going to be quite an interesting race to finish off this thing. We're going to have to see if Isaac Canepa and those other drivers do decide to actually pit, or are they going to actually try and run the whole thing to the end. Well, folks, guess what? You are looking at the leader. That's right, Isaac Canepa is the leader, and he is way back here. Everybody else ahead of him is currently either a lap down or on the tail end of the lead lap. These are the drivers still left in the lead lap after all the shuffle and jumble of what just took place with that caution flag coming out when it did. Canepa's the leader, second is Alex DeMarco, Jamie DeFelu is third, fourth Prunes Littlejohn, Eric Burton fifth, Sean Galligan is sixth, seventh is Leia Walker, Tanner Sullivan now eighth, ninth place is going to be, I think, yeah, Harrison Langford, who's up here at the front here. He's on the tail end of the lead lap. 10th is Kyle Corbett. 11th, Cody Lamas. Dylan Young, 12th. 13th is Levi McIntyre. Zach Campbell, 14th. 15th, Andreas Allen. Then you got William Duncan in 16th. 17th is Joshua Michaels. 18th, Jake Cole. 19th, James McLeod. And Jimmy Bly is 20th. 21st is Danny Wells. Trent Dunham, 22nd. 23rd, Jackie Tang. 24th, Charles Jackson. Sam McMillan is 25th. Then it's Bob Jones, Chris Dolligan, Luis Hernandez, Kyle Thomas, and points leader Gene Sanford in 30th. 31st is Chris Washer, Brad Smith 32nd, and 33rd is Deanna Shelton, and then there is your leader, Isaac Canepa. Everybody else is at least a lap down. That would be Zach Rogers and James Silverfox. They're 34th, 35th. Jake Rogers, 36th. Dylan Poteet's a lap down in 37th. 38th place, Austin LaPlante. 2 laps down in 39th is Matthew Daly. And then I believe Kyle Matthews has taken his car behind the wall, as has Jacob Lawler. Let's see if Matthew Daly's still running. Yeah, he's still running, but he's here at the tail end of the field. And he is, as I said, 2 laps down. So, normally, when we have a battle for the win, the leaders are all out by themselves, racing amongst themselves. These cars that are on the tail end of the lead lap up ahead of them could really come into play into blocking in these drivers or separating these drivers from their opponents for this win. When we get back to green, there's going to be a total of 7 laps to go. And who would have thought that the winner of this race is going to have to finish out those 7 laps, slicing and dicing and cutting their way through traffic. Not only that, but then trying to hold off the drivers behind him, hounding him for the win. Is Isaac Canepa up to the task? He's got veterans behind him and rookies alike. Some have been to victory lane in their career here in the Truck Series, some of them have not. Canepa is actually one of them that has not gone to victory lane in the Truck Series. As we're about to turn them loose here for 7 laps of racing. Are you ready? Oh boy. If the caution flag comes out, we may end up getting one final restart, but I don't know. Green flag is out. It's displayed over the hood of the car running in 9th, Harrison Langford. This is the leader just now crossing the start-finish line in Isaac Canepa, and he's going to go right to work trying to get some cars between himself and Alex DeMarco. Going underneath the 94 of Deanna Shelton now trying to get by Brad Smith, but look who's right behind him. Nose to tail, the top 3, the 14, 13, and 20. Sean Galligan all of a sudden making his presence felt up here. He's going underneath Eric Burton. That would be for 5th place. There's Jamie DeFalo caught on the high side too. He may fall outside the top 5. As right now they are doubled up ahead of him, ahead of the leaders that is, and Isaac Canepa is on the inside line. I think that's what he basically needs to do. Keep himself on the inside line. If those other guys are going to pass him, they got to do it on the outside line. He can't let them to his inside, or else he is pretty much a dead duck. Look at him pulling it way down there to the bottom of the racetrack to hold off anybody coming to his inside. DeMarco, I think he may have been thinking about going to the high side, but now Prunes Littlejohn leaves him out to dry. Here comes Littlejohn. Whoa! Littlejohn having to make it 3 wide there as Danny Wells went to the middle underneath Brad Smith. And that's going to open up a gap now for Canepa. Littlejohn still battling there with Danny Wells to get by him. She's got Sean Galligan right behind her, and Canepa begins to check out. Now 1 car between himself and Prunes Littlejohn. Now he'll try and make it 2 as he'll try to get to the inside now of the damaged machine of Chris Washer. Now the thing he's got to make sure is that Danny Wells does not bore a hole to his inside, because if he does, Prunes Littlejohn and Sean Galligan are sure to follow. And they could freight train the 14. 4 to go here at Charlotte. I talk about a point shakeup. Right now, the best runner out of the drivers inside the top 10 in points is Tanner Sullivan. He is now up in the 6th position, I believe. Nope, make that 5th place. And he comes into this race 4th in the points. He's having a great run, and this is going to be huge for him as far as whether or not he's going to be up there in the standings or not. Right now, Canepa leads. Then a lap car of Danny Wells between himself and Prunes Littlejohn. 3 to go. Littlejohn's got to do something, or she's got to hope that Danny Wells will do something, but Canepa's just done something. He got himself to the inside of Kyle Corbett. Put another car between himself and 2nd place Prunes Littlejohn. Just up ahead, Jake Cole, 18th in points. Kyle Thomas, 3rd in the standings, is just ahead. And oh, look out, Danny Wells, can he bore the hole? Littlejohn's hoping he can. Out of 4, Canepa's going to hold off Danny Wells, though, but that could have been a move that could have cost Isaac Canepa a chance at this win. 2 to go. That may have been the only resort Prunes Littlejohn had. Here comes the 14 underneath 3rd in the point standings, Kyle Corbett. The points leader, Gene Sanford, just up ahead. Still running that inside line, though, is Isaac Canepa. Oh, Danny Wells, though. He's trying to help maybe Prunes Littlejohn get to the inside of the 14. But he's got to do something quick because the white flag's displayed. Watch it. Jimmy Bly nearly wrecks in front of the leaders. But they keep it green. White flag displayed. We'll race it to the checkers regardless of whether the caution comes out. And look at the gap now. Littlejohn got kicked to the high side. Galligan now moves to 2nd. But there's 3 lap cars between himself and the leader, Isaac Canepa. Canepa now trying to put the points leader a lap down. Gene Sanford Danny Wells gonna follow him. It's a blockade between the 14 and the 2. Nothing Galligan can do. Isaac Canepa's got a huge blockade between himself and second. He'll come down for his first career Truck Series win. Second win of his NCAA career. He wins here at Charlotte in the Coca-Cola 200. What a victory for Isaac Canepa. And we're going to have to cut this race short, folks. I apologize, but congratulations to Isaac Canepa on the win. 13th in points. This will help him in the standings. And we'll show you now your official results and standings. See you later, folks.